Sorry, folks. I had my mouth full there. I got caught in my proverbial pants down, so to speak. Good morning. Good morning, Don. Always glad to see you here. And the Tennessean I'm referring to was Samuel Houston, or Sam Houston, first president of Texas, Republic of. In fact, he was president twice, I believe. He was also a senator from Texas once they joined the Union, and governor of Texas when they seceded from the Union, and he resigned because of that. Well, Pearl, good morning, Pearl. Welcome. Hi, Kay. Good morning. Pearl, sounds to me like you're set. New computer chair, blankie, coffee, but none of this means you're awake. Let's see here. I believe we have guests, or we have a co-host here. If I can remember how this. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm decent. How are you?
Oh, hanging in there.
I wasn't sure you felt how you felt today. How do you feel?
Still struggling a little bit.
What did the ER visit result in yesterday? I don't mean to fill the stream full of bad news or whatever, but I wanted to ask, see how you were doing.
Well, they gave me about a bag and a half of saline, and they wanted me to keep going through, adding more and more fluids. So hopefully it dropped my potassium level down a little bit more. Now they usually they'll give you something, I forget what it is. It's like coaxalate, something that'll drop it down quick, but it was at such a high level that they wanted me in the ER right away to take care of it. So
okay. Well, maybe maybe you'll start feeling a little bit better again, or
yeah,
than you have been.
I hope so. 2 ER visits in 1 week is not
it's
not fun.
No, that's what I was thinking. It was the second time this week. My days run together sometimes, so I wasn't sure if it was twice this week or if you went once last week, but yeah. I knew they were close together.
Hey, Tina.
Hi, Tina. Welcome in, everybody.
Okay.
I saw something I missed there.
Kay's here.
I saw something about. Yes. Of course, Travis was at the Alamo, correct? I'm talking to Dawn Hitchhiking Bones. We were talking Texas, Tennessee connections here this morning. And she always, she always hails me as being from the Republic of Texas. And of course, I came from the original lost state of Franklin, but we won't talk about that one too much in history. A little bit, not much.
Howdy, Dawn.
Good morning, Cherie. I hope you're having a decent day. If you're at work, I hope you're having a decent day so far. And there's Dean.
Good morning, Cherie.
Good morning, Dean. Yes, that's what I thought too, Don, or what I remembered. I'll get him mixed up with Stephen Austin every once in a while in my mind. That Stephen Austin was also a wheel with the early Texas. And, of course, now Houston didn't fight in the Alamo, but he did fight at the Battle of San Jacinto, which was more or less the one that ended the war.
Hey, Dean.
Yeah, Pearl, my days have run together. This has been kind of an off week for me. I haven't felt great, but I haven't felt terrible. I probably nowhere near as bad as Chris has. I just yesterday I had some I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to caption it with an ad on. But I had to run a few errands yesterday with my son-in-law, and that which means I rode around in the truck with him and got out once, I think. But most of it was his doings. But still, it kind of wore me out. Say that again, Chris.
Oh, I was going to ask how your legs feeling.
So. I'm walking. I'm actually walking better. I've been using my cane a lot lately, and I'm wearing a brace on my knee, which helps stabilize my knee, and that helps me get around. But with a cane, I'm actually able to walk some steps now, and I've been doing that more instead of the walker. But this left leg still hurts like the dickens. It's, I guess that's the first feeling. A lot of feeling has returned in that leg, but not everything. I still don't have full control over it. And what I do feel, though, of course, is the pain. It's always the pain, It couldn't be a good feeling. It's going to be a painful feeling if it's going to come back first. But my knee is, honestly, they said there's nothing wrong with my hip joints, and that's good. But my muscles, I guess, in my hips and groin area are pulled and stretched more than they've been for a long time. So they still hurt. That doesn't help much when I'm trying to move around. But my knee, it still feels really swollen. My wife says it doesn't look like it's swollen that much. Yeah, Pearl, you did hear one. I got my headphones on. So sometimes I miss him, but here he is. He's the loud, sad kitty.
There's the big guy.
He's for a big cat. He makes the most pitiful sounds when he wants something. He sounds so sad. Anyway, my knee feels stiff and swollen all the time, so it pretty much aches all day long.
Well, Monday when I was in the ER, you came to mind. They did a CAT scan on me, like mid torso, and then they did an ultrasound on my leg. They were checking for
clots.
Yeah. They didn't find anything. They said that it looked like there was possibly some damage to my lower back, possibly nerve damage. But I'm seeing the neurologist on Friday. They're going to check. He's going to do quite a few tests on my leg. They believe that in the ER that, there might have been some minor damage to my lower back at some point, and it may have done some nerve damage just over the years with the diabetes.
Oh, man, I hate that.
I was getting spasms in my leg, and it felt like constant Charlie horses, just over and over and over. And
I go through that almost every day, almost every night now.
Yeah, it's and they put me on a pain medication for that. But you came to mind, and I thought, geez, okay, this has to be what Tim goes through. Only I know that you probably go through it a lot worse than what I was feeling.
Well, I mean, it's hard to say. Interesting thing about some of that is Pete I saw Pete McDevitt talking a week or two ago on his show, and that's one of the things he's having going on with one of his legs. And I can't remember if it's the newly amputated one or the other one, or the remainder of his leg. And he's given a lot of cramps going through it. And it sounds very similar too. He said it starts at the bottom and kind of works. That's sort of how mine do. Mine sort of ripple up and down, one muscle to the next. Good morning, pass holder pair. Welcome in. I'm going to guess Mike, but maybe Val or both. Okay, Carol's not here today. Teddy's decided to spend some time online this morning. She's not here to see him. She's the president of Teddy's fan club, in case you didn't know that. All correspondence goes through her.
Thank you, Kay. I'm trying anyway. Hopefully I'll start feeling a little better soon.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I have had with my issues after my back did its thing was I developed clonus, which is sort of like, hey, there's Carol. Look, Carol's here. You want to say hi? Hi, Carol. Hi, Carol. The if you know what? Oh, I can never remember this when I need to. But I get uncontrollable tremors or shake sometimes in my leg, and it was in both. It's not as bad now as it was. The left one can still just take off and start bouncing or shaking sometimes, especially if I don't have any weight on it. But there's a disease for that that's called that too. But first time I went to see one doctor, he said, "How long have you had this?" I can't remember.
You and I talked about it before. Oh, yeah, it's this whole.
Oh, come on, somebody help me out there. I know somebody knows what we're talking about.
Like what Michael J. Fox
Yeah,
had.
kind of like that.
Yeah.
And similar, one of those. I think it's the same thing. But anyway, I said I don't have it. This just started, and
right.
he looked at me kind of funny. That was a funny. I mean, he looked at me and said, "Why are you here?" I said, "Well, because they sent me to you." And of course, it's Parkinson's. Yes, thank you, Pearl.
Yes,
that was it. I can never seem to remember. But anyway, I noticed this morning it was a little shaky, but my left foot. But it's gotten a lot better than it was when it was when it was before I had my surgery. It was real bad. But it has gotten a lot better since that. That's all eased up a whole lot. But the cramps at night are the hard thing, and then if my hips would ease up, and I'm hoping that once my knee heals up some or gets fixed or something, that my hip pain will kind of ease up, because I'm probably walking really funny. I know I am. So the cortisone, I got a cortisone shot the other day, in case anybody didn't hear that. I went to see a orthopedic specialist about my knee. I've got bad arthritis in it. My meniscus is torn pretty badly, but right now they don't want to fix that because my arthritis is so bad it'll just keep ripping it up. And I guess I never truly understood everything about arthritis. I've known a lot of people that had bad arthritis, and people that just had it spits and spurts, kind of like what I've got, I guess, as opposed to rheumatoid. But it's I guess there's a roughness forms on the ends of the bones, and it keeps things irritated. So what that roughness is doing is kind of like sandpaper on either side of my meniscus, so it just keeps tearing it every time if I do something strange or twist it funny, which is what I did when I fell. It just rips it or tears it. So he doesn't want to fix that until we do something about the arthritis. And apparently the arthritis is so bad that that's going to be a knee replacement somewhere down the road. So we'll see how it works. He wanted me to do steroid shots in the knee first and see if they could give me some relief. And so far it's been a little over a week, and I'd say mixed. I'm having mixed signals on that. I haven't really gotten a lot of relief. Maybe a little relief from the general sensitivity of the part of my knee cap area, but I'm not real thrilled about that. But it sounds like I'm just dying to have surgery, and I'm not. I'm just dying to get something fixed.
Right.
And right now I think I just about as soon have a new knee as the pain, but I don't know. We've discussed that in our health room chat stuff. It's pain just sucks, pardon my French, but it you either live with it or learn to live with it or take a pill for it, and I'm having to learn to live with it. So
Pearl said she's a walking medical dictionary.
I think that's what I have. Yes, Pearl, that is correct. And it's just, you are shedding all over me today. Carol, we got to digress here, man. Carol, we got to talk to this boy. He's some reason he won't get in his chair right now. He's something spooked him in his chair. Usually he sits here beside me in the chair, but he won't get in it today. Something yesterday or day before, he acted like something bit him while he was in the chair, and I don't know, it startled him, so he took off, and now I can't get him to. Now he won't get in the chair. He has a long memory. What are you looking at? He is purring. You can't hear him, but he is purring. He's fairly content, and he will be till my arms give out from holding him. It's like holding a lead weight. So anyway, yes, Kay, pain is crappy. It is crappy. Until someone has gone through it and lived a long time with it, it's really hard to. I think it's hard to appreciate long-term chronic pain for people. He is that, Pearl. That's a fact. She said, you're a tub of lubba kitty. You think that's true? Well,
I've got
down he goes.
I've got that capsaicin I was thinking of trying. I know I'm gonna have to put it on with gloves and really wash up afterwards, but
yeah, you got to watch that stuff because you don't want to get it in your eyes or in your face. Trust me, I have done this. It's not pleasant.
Oh,
but yeah, I've had some. I was using some for a while that had a applicator on the tip of the squeeze tube, so I didn't have to touch it with my hands. That helped. And we had some stuff. My wife had some stuff before her knee surgery. She had some stuff for her knees that you had to wear gloves. It would numb your hands. It was a topical numbing agent, and if you didn't put gloves on, your hands went to sleep for a little while.
Oh, I bet.
So, Kay, you've had surgery also. Did you have knee replacement, or I thought I might be looking at hip replacement too, but fortunately, that's not going to have to happen. Although, from what I've been told by people who've done it, they said their hips replacement was easier than their knee replacement these days. No, I'm not a fan of surgery. I mean, I don't want it to sound like I'm some kind of, I don't know. There's a name for people that like to be infirm and have surgery and stuff, but I'm not that. But I'm tired of pain, so I'll just about do anything. When they found the impingement on my spinal cord in my back, the one doctor, the doctor that found it sent me straight to a surgeon. And the surgeon looked at it and said, well, we got two choices. We can see if it's going to heal up or we can do surgery. And he said, surgery may or may not fix it, but probably will. And I said, surgery, I don't even want to talk about it. I want you to fix something. I'm so tired of not having something fixed.
Right.
I've dealt with my lower back for 30 years now, and nobody wants to fool with it or fix it, or they can't fix it. So I'm just ready for something to be working. So I'm going to work on that.
Well, and it's I know that I had a surgeon, an orthopedic surgeon, who he sent me to what they call occupational therapy.
Yeah.
And that's where they mess with your hands and your fingers and everything. He was trying everything possible to avoid performing surgery on my fingers or
your fingers.
Yeah.
Are they any better?
Not
so much.
Not yeah. My it's funny to think about, but my middle finger on my right hand, it still kind of curls up. I always say it's because of road rage and whatnot, but
well, not keep you out of trouble though.
Yeah, that's true. I always every time when I talk about this with him, he says, well, just stop flicking people off when when you're driving down the road. I was like, yeah, I'll do my best. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, sometimes we can't help it.
Right.
Hey, Pearl, I can't take naproxen anymore. I took it for a long time when I early on in back stuff, and I can't take it anymore. I can take it for a day or two, and then it starts cramp. My stomach cramps so bad that I can't take it. So I'm off naproxen or Aleve, either one, since it's got the same stuff in it. I can't. At one time it probably helps inflammation. So that's primarily what it does, as you know, I'm sure. But I can't take it. It's really hard on my stomach, so I had to give that one up. I took it for quite a while, actually, early on, and that's probably why I can't take it now. I don't know.
That might happen after the surgery, after the procedure, Pearl.
Yeah,
permanent bird.
Yeah, it might go the other way. Well, Carol, I hope your husband goes through the surgery fine. My wife, Karen Cook, in our group, if a lot of you know, she had some issues with her knee replacements. She had both done at the same time, which is hard. My wife's had both knees done, but they did them a couple months apart, and that helped a lot, I think. Hers went well. She hasn't regretted a moment. She got over it real quick, and she seemed to rehab. She rehabbed real quickly, and the way they do it these days, she was up walking within a couple of hours of surgery, and they insisted on doing all that, starting therapy almost immediately. And in her case, it worked out good. So hopefully his will too. Let's see. Tina said her husband's had. Oh, I know how to do this now. Let me do this. PT can help. There are times when you reach a point where you may not get any better, but there are times when physical therapy has really helped me. Like right now, my water therapy has helped me more than anything. The whole start of therapy was good because in this case, I had not used my legs for almost 8 months, or 6 at least, almost completely useless. And so to get started back, the clinical therapy helped me a bunch. But once they put me in the water, I feel like it has helped me so much, because yesterday was the first day I've stepped into a business with nothing but my cane. Now, I'm going to tell you, I got home, I was worn out last night. That's why I didn't feel like I wasn't online much and didn't do much. But by the end of the day, I was exhausted, but I don't have no stamina yet. But I was walking with my cane. Now, I won't lie, I lean on things, I grab stuff. I use my free hand to hold on to things a lot just to make sure I don't get unbalanced. But it has gotten so much better than it was just a few weeks ago. Good morning, Flipper. Good to see you, buddy.
And Kay, yeah, it's the same way for me. And right now, they have me on the hydrocodone, and I noticed that my foot or my hand will start itching from time to time. But yeah, if I just take Tylenol, it's okay. But Tylenol just isn't working with my foot or my leg right now.
That's funny. Who said that? I lost it again.
Hey, Flipper.
Kay was talking about Tylenol. Yeah, that's the only thing they give me these days. I was on hydrocodone, hydrocodone and
or the Norco.
Yeah. Well, I was on Percocet for years, and I was actually on morphine for years. I don't know. Some of you know that, some of you don't. But I took morphine 3 times a day for 10 or 12 years, and that didn't fix anything, but at least I could function. It was better than living in pain constantly. When it got to the point where we were going to have to increase my dosages more and do all that kind of stuff, we finally decided to try it and come off of everything, which was a life-altering sort of change in itself, to be honest. But I learned a lot about withdrawal at that point, but I got through it. So
yeah, they after my transplant, when I was in intensive care, they had me on the morphine drip where they give you the button.
Yeah.
And that was just for 3 days. But even just 3 days of that, trying to back you off of that, they said, "All right, well, we're going to start replacing this with some extra strength, kind of like a heavy duty Tylenol." I was noticing withdrawal, but I thought, okay, I didn't even notice that I was getting used to the morphine or asking for more morphine than what I should have. And it wasn't until they started taking me off of it that I thought, how did this happen? Because all of a sudden I was feeling sick. And they said it's all from this withdrawal just
Huh.
in 3 days. So,
Wow. Well, you're probably getting more in a drip than I was taking. I mean, I took 115 milligrams a day of morphine in the end, which really doesn't sound like a whole lot. So to me, I never got to that point. I mean, I got to that point. Don't get me wrong. I was definitely at that point. And over the years, when I'd forget to take my medicine some mornings, or I wouldn't somehow get out of the house without taking it, within a few hours, I'd feel like crap. And I could always tell when I missed. But
yeah.
it, I've been lucky in one sense. I've never been had an addictive type mentality or state. I smoked cigarettes off and on for years, and I just laid them down and walked away. Or drinking is the same way. I go spells where I don't drink anything. I mean, I've just always been that way. Coffee's probably the closest thing I've really been to hooked to anything most of my life, but in that regard. But so overdosing or taking more than I was supposed to was never really a problem, even though sometimes it probably would have felt better. But the interesting thing about pain, and I'm sure some of you know this, but everybody thinks about getting high when you take these pain meds. If you're in a lot of pain to begin with, you don't experience a high. It doesn't work that way unless you get up to a pain level or pain killer level that's way above what you need, and then you can. That's what was going on with a lot of the pain pills in the last 10 years or so. Was the doses were outlandish. I took very small doses of everything, just enough to get me by, was kind of how we looked at it. Whereas people were taking 60 and 80 milligrams of Percocet at a time, or hydrocodone or OxyContin. And I think the biggest pills I ever had at any time might have been 15s. They were either 12s or 15s milligram. And that's the biggest thing I ever saw. And I didn't even know they made stuff that big till it started coming out in the news and whatnot, what people were dosing. But,
right.
I can see how that would happen. If I was taking 3 80 milligram tablets a day, I'd probably be a stone or two. I mean, that'd be hard to get kick.
Well, it was, they would hand me the button. This was after I came to. I mean, I must have been out of it for a good half a day still after the transplant. And as soon as I came to, they said, "Okay, well, here's your button." After the nurse had pressed it, and there was like a timeline in between that and when the next time you could use it. It
Mm-hmm.
was when I would press the button and it would work, but then I would still, at least in my mind, it felt like I was still feeling pain. Whether I actually was or not, I'm not sure. I believe I was. But then I would hit the button again, and then I would try and hit the button again, but then it was giving a message to the nurse saying,
Hitting
he's
it too many
he's
times.
trying to get more doses than what we can give, and it wouldn't give me the dose. But then I'd
Yeah.
be thinking, okay, something is wrong with the button, and then they would say, no, well, you're pressing it way too much. You're asking for more than what you need, and on and on and on. And that's when it hit me that, okay, this is either the pain really wasn't there, but maybe I was thinking it was, or I'm just in more pain than I should be. I wasn't sure. So
Yeah.
then he started to back me off of it. And as soon as I started to become really sick, that's when I noticed that it didn't take much for me to kind of get addicted to morphine. And I never really thought that I could get, it was always that, no, that won't happen to me. No, that won't. And it's like,
Yeah.
sure enough. And this was even under medical attention. This was
Well,
under medical care. So it's
and
like,
there's different
wow.
kinds of addiction. I mean, there's the addiction we think of people on the street looking for drugs, and there's
Right.
the addiction. And there's actually a better word for that, but the body gets so used to it. If you're taking it for pain or something, that your body adjusts to it, and it needs it, and it comes to the same effect. But there's kind of two different processes. But let me catch up with Chad here just for a minute. Kay Atwood said that morphine gives her hallucinations, and she saw purple spiders. If you like those purple spiders, Kay, you have to come next month to into Lynn Project Lynn, the Lynn Project's chat when we do the spider trial. I'm going to be representing spiders, and she's going to represent people who hate spiders. So, yeah, by all means, do what?
The anti-spider.
Yeah, the anti-spider. And then Pearl said, she was talking about THC gummies. I honestly wish we could get them here legally. I could probably find some, but so far they're not legal here, so nobody sells them in this area. Again, at least legally. Honestly, if I could get them and they would help, I would try them. Everybody I know that has had gummies for that purpose says they send to work, and it's a lot easier on them than other pain meds. And so I would definitely give it a shot. And then I saw another one. Oh, Tina McNeil said her brother had a problem and was taking 300 milligrams a day of hydrocodone. I can't imagine that. That's rough. And they gave stuff out like that. I mean, they gave people that kind of medication, and then of course some added to it, I guess, on their own and started buying it wherever they could get it. But that's a lot. And if he was prescribed for that, then there's no wonder he was hooked on it.
Well,
of course I am, Tina. So far, it's me against the world. Everybody, no, that's not you. Stacy. All right, my mind's gone this morning. Stacey Rogers said she didn't want to be on the prosecution. She wanted to be the executioner. So, she's stomping spiders, and here I am trying to win people over to the good reasons they're around.
Your biggest defense should be they take care of mosquitoes.
Exactly. And other critters that we don't really like necessarily. So yes, Trace. So yes, Tina, I'm trying to drum up witnesses for the defense. Got to get some somewhere, because right now I'm on my own. When it was suggested the other night in chat that maybe somebody would like to come on my side, I didn't get any takers, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to be. It's going to be me. It's going to be me and Perry Mason again. Me and Perry Mason against the world here.
And that does help. Okay. Like a piece of peppermint, it helps quite a bit. And I think Tina Marie was talking about it too, some about peppermint oil. And I know Cynthia sent me some peppermint oil that helps a little bit. Well, it helps with nausea. I know that. So, anything peppermint it really does help quite a bit.
Yeah, peppermint. I used to use a peppermint sometimes for digestion. It kind of helped.
Right. Yeah. Settles down the stomach.
All right, Don, maybe you can come in and help me out a little bit. I might need witnesses, or at least somebody to give some pro comments. That's good to know. I'll put you on the witness list. Yeah, when I was on morphine and stuff, I had nausea. I was nauseous quite often, and that's when I started taking and I had pills for it. of course. I took Dramamine at times off the counter, but I also had, they gave me some, something that put me to sleep every time I took it.
I
And,
have one that helps me out with nausea. It's called Ondansetron. Or
yeah, I take that
Mm-hmm.
now. I have that now if I need it. I don't need it as often. I like these. That's when I got to using chewing these. They're ginger chews, and that used to help me a lot during the day. I could chew on those, and that would help settle my stomach when I was feeling bad.
Yeah, you were telling me about those. I'll have to look for those.
Yeah,
And
there's different brands in this. This is just the brand I found originally at one of the stores around here, and I started using them. But you can get them all over. Amazon's got them. I mean, there's all kinds of places where you can order them.
Yeah, I'll give those a try.
Well, Carol, I appreciate your daughter for that. I mean, yeah, some people used to say killing a spider in your house or whatever was bad luck too, but I don't know where that one came from. I'll have to look that up. I have to start assembling all my facts and writing down notes, or I won't be a good attorney.
And that's what I do. That's what I do, Carol. If I see spiders anywhere, and mainly they hang around more of the warmer areas or along pipes, so then they end up in the bathroom for the most part. And I'll just capture them and I'll release them back outside. It's where most of the mosquitoes are anyway.
True.
I'll let them take care of them.
Yeah, that's very true.
I'm getting some hummingbirds around here.
Oh yeah, that's good. It's time. We've seen a few here. We never have had a lot here around our house. We usually get a few, one or two, or three around the house a year. But not a lot. Now I had an aunt that lived a few miles from here, about 20 miles east of here, near the lake, and she lived up on top of a hill. She didn't actually live down on the lake. She could see the lake, but she had hummingbird feeders all over her yard, and she had dozens and dozens of hummingbirds that would come to her house every day and feed. And they were fun to watch because if you get a bunch of males, which is what you see, they fight all the time, of course.
Yep.
So they fly through the air and they butt each other, they chest bump each other at high speed aerobatics. It's hilarious to watch. But go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say I have one that comes back every year, and I call him Squeakers because he has, where they make the squeaking is their tail feathers, and this one, every little move that he makes, he moves those tail feathers together just every time he moves. So you just hear squeak, 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 squeak. And so I always call him Squeakers whenever he comes to the feeder.
Kay, did your spider leave messages like Charlotte? She might have been trying to tell you something. We used to, when I was a kid, maybe this is where my concern or defense of spiders came from, but when I was a kid, at night, when I would go visit he could do this at my house too back then, but we always did it over there. Now they lived out in the country and it's, pretty rural, but they had a front porch and with a light on it. And of course, when you turn the light on, it draws all kinds of moths and bugs and stuff at night. And every night at dark, these spiders would let down their webs, or they'd weave their webs around that porch. So everything that came into not everything, but a lot of bugs would come into the lights and then get caught in the webs. And that's how the spiders, caught a lot of food. They used the light to, there must be some intelligence going on there because they figured out pretty quick that the bugs are here. So my cousins and I used to go and catch them. We'd catch the moths and things and toss them into the spider webs so we could watch the spiders do their thing. And as soon as the spider feels the web vibrate, they come running out and they'll start wrapping those moths up. So by the end of the night, you'd have 2 or 3 little cocoons of moths and whatnot in each web. And then, of course, like I said, they, next morning daylight, they'd retract them or whatever they did with them, pull them up, and you wouldn't see them out there in the daytime. But I'll also confess that I used to spend a lot of time in the woods, and early in the mornings especially, and you're in the woods walking through bunches of spider webs. It wasn't really my favorite thing to do, mostly because I couldn't get them out of my face. Why is Tina Marie crying? Oh, because of the bugs. Yeah.
I imagine you,
okay,
after every time you walked through the forest, you had to do like a tick check.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We had to. That was sort of a standard procedure where I worked. Everybody kind of, to what extent you could, without getting personal, you kind of tick check each other when you come out of the woods. But we wore a lot of. Most everybody there used a tick repellent. It was actually developed by, or helped develop by the company or the agency I worked for. It's called Permanone. I'm sure some of you have seen it if you've been out much, but it's stronger than the stuff they put in just bug repellent, and it's really not supposed to go on your skin. You're supposed to apply it to your clothes, and it'll keep them off of you that way. And it works. It actually does work pretty well. But ticks are, it depends on the year, but they're usually bad down this way. And
I bet.
I don't much care for ticks. They're a pain in the butt, and they're actually a form of spider too. They're an arachnid. They have 8 legs. That's funny. Hey, I've never had that happen, but I never thought about that. But I'm sure they would. Carol said hi again. Why don't you turn around and let everybody see your face? Yeah, he's whispering in my ear, but he's not being very social today. I don't know what's going on with him in his chair. I don't know if maybe he saw a ghost in the chair and he didn't want to go back to it. It was weird. He kind of acted like something was getting him, and I reached over to do something that startled him. And when it did, he jumped down. He won't get back in it. That was yesterday morning. So almost 24 hours, isn't it? Yeah. He's sad about it. You can tell. He's really sad. He's been enjoying doing his Facebook page, though. He said he appreciates everybody that's taking a look, and liked things and joined up. It's of course you can see right now he's tuckered plumb out. It's probably been all of 10 or 15 minutes since he had a nap.
I was gonna say he's enjoying where he is.
Yeah, Don, let me tell you about fiddlebacks and black widows. Spin another one of Tim's tales here. When my dad was a young man, I'm not sure what age he was, he got bit by a black widow. He thinks, and quite possibly this is the case, got bit in the outhouse. Apparently that was a place they liked. Black widows could hang out from time to time. It was probably relatively quiet and relatively dark, and no doubt bugs they could catch and eat. We won't go any deeper into that, but where he got bit. But anyway, he spent some time in the hospital for that. When I was working in Nashville, we went to we bought some equipment, or we bought out a hangar, a group that had closed down. The company had gone out. They'd been there for a long time. Anyway, they closed down, so we were allowed to go up there and get some tools and things they had left over. We bought, and I've never seen black widows anywhere in my life like they were there. You could literally stand in a given area, a room that had been closed up for a while, and you could see them walking across the floor, several at a time usually. And that wasn't fun. Nobody ever got bit. We just had to watch them. And I caught a couple that were huge, big females that just for show and tell, but so people would know what they really look like. But now brown recluses, on the other hand, are a bit more sketchy. And I'm not sure what I wouldn't almost rather get bit by a black widow, to be honest. The venom in a brown recluse is really nasty stuff, and it tends to eat and rot away your flesh. And I've seen some really graphic, gruesome wounds from recluse bites. And when I was working for the agency, and we had a rural office that was, I just, it was an older building, been there for a while. It's sort of nestled in the woods. Not that has anything, and we had a lot of paper files and stuff, which is another. Brown recluses tend to like to get in cardboard boxes and things. So if you ever have if you're in an area where you have brown recluse and you're unpacking old boxes and stuff, probably wouldn't hurt to, keep an eye out and maybe wear gloves. But these things were in our office, and I've looked at more than one morning and seen one walking across the top of my cubicle or something or along the floor, along the wall. So much so that they put out these little traps in there to make sure they caught some and nobody got bit. But they were thick, just to be honest. And they think one of our police officers got bit once in the building, but I don't know if that was really proven. But nobody else ever did if they were there. But they were certainly in there. We could see them. We could catch them, verify them, look at them under a microscope or whatever we need to see the fiddleback, if you will. That they were there all the time. So we kind of learned to adjust to them, I guess, in some ways. But if you had been afraid of spiders, you would not have been able to work in that building, I don't think.
Now, I've heard about. I read an article about. I guess they're called brown widows. They're a little more aggressive than the black widow, but their venom isn't as strong as a black widow. So they'll approach you and they'll bite you. I guess the black widow is more of they'll bite you because they want to be left alone. The brown widows will just come up and flat out bite you because they're just aggressive.
Did you see a spirit? Go ahead.
Luckily, they're only in Southern California, at least for now.
Yeah.
Also, I just heard about some false black widow spider that's going around in different areas of the country. I don't know exactly where, but I heard that they might be in the Midwest. They could be anywhere, really.
Yeah.
And they'll bite you also, but I don't know how strong their venom is.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to stop now because you're not going to help my argument when it comes time to
sorry.
The trial. So we need to. This is pure speculation. People, nobody knows this for a fact.
That's right.
Chris has heard this, so we don't know for sure.
Hearsay.
So don't panic yet.
Just hearsay. Yes.
I gotta go back. I gotta go back here to chat. That's right. I gotta go to Pat chat just for a minute. What was that?
Spiders are good. They take care of mosquitoes, the really bad ones. Just gotta remember.
So, Carl, you got bit by a brown recluse. You said that wasn't fun. I won't even discuss how you think you got bit or where, but a tender. Let's just say a very tender part of your body. Did you have a lot of problems with it healing? Because that's usually what I have known one other person that got bit by a brown recluse, and she was kind of lucky in that she only had a small area that really got nasty. But they sort of form like they call a bullseye. It's kind of red in the middle with red that spreads out. But over time, if you can't, I guess it depends on the amount of venom or I don't know what all affects it, but sometimes they really can cause a big old sore, nasty sore. So I'm glad you were able to survive it eventually.
Well, they say that if you catch it quick enough, if you can wash it really well, I guess it helps quite a bit.
Well, I'm sure it probably does. I mean, I'm sure it probably does. And if I don't know what all they do these days to treat it if they catch it in time, but that's the other problem. It's so hard sometimes to tell, spider bites from some other kinds of bug bites, and unless they do get bad like that, and that's part of the problem. People let them get bad before they realize what it is. And I like spiders and snakes enough. I like snakes better than spiders, probably in their own right. But I'm obviously a cat friend, so there's an interesting change the subject a minute. There's an interesting. Well, there's probably lots of them I think about on YouTube. There's a cat named Messier, or Messie, I think that's what they call him or call her. And I believe it's in Europe. It may even be Russia for all I know, or somewhere in Scandinavia. But they've got a cougar that lives with them. And I don't know how old this cat is or how big. And I'm not a fan of trying to domesticate wild cats. That's not. While I'd love to have a tiger, I'm not dumb enough to think I can have a tiger and not. Just a minute. Adjust my cushion there. I'm not dumb enough to think I can own a tiger. I'd love as much as I'd love to have them, because I think big cats are beautiful. I mean, they're just amazing animals. And cougars are just gorgeous cats. But I don't know. When I see videos where somebody's playing with a cougar. They've got one that they feed, or they've got one that lives with them in their house and whatnot. But I just can't. It's hard for me to. What's the word? Well, words are hard this morning.
I was told to be careful around cougars.
Yeah, well, well, you need to be careful around any of them if they're supposedly domesticated. But cougars are, in the wild, cougars are kind of bad. And I just realized what time it is. We're going to have to wind this down, guys, because Lynn is going to be on this morning with Coffee and Contemplation. And today she's going to have Triple P Brett with her. I'm not sure where Josh is, but Triple P or Brett's there. And I'm sure they're going to talk about Evie's first birthday. And if you didn't see that pictures on Facebook or Instagram, you need to go look, because she's pretty precious I can't believe she's 1 year old. Anyway, cougars, the bad thing about cougars is they adjust, and they're everywhere now, pretty much, or a lot of especially in the Western United States, and they will hunt you. They do hunt people from time to time.
Well, I mean,
but I love them. I mean, I think they're amazing animals. I think they need to be out there. I'm pro wolf. I think wolves belong in the ecosystem where they can be.
Oh yeah,
because they're part of the system, and we don't realize what a difference they make until they're gone. Okay, I'm gonna wind this down, because I've sit here and jack my jaws until it's almost 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock. So, Chris, I appreciate you coming on, buddy. I'm glad you felt up to it. I want to thank everybody else that came in today, and I hope most of you jump over and see Lynn in a few minutes, or in about 2 minutes, and continue drinking coffee. And I'm sure some of this conversation will go even over there, although she may ban spider talk today. You never know about that part. She's kind of funny about spiders. Now she might talk about cougars and mountain lions. So you never know about that part.
What Pearl said, about cougars, there's
Pearl,
I was told
what Pearl said about cougars.
I just need to make myself look big and say I'm taken. If a cougar like that comes up,
yeah. Yeah, Pearl. Well, no, cougars aren't so bad. I don't know what you call an old man. I guess a bear, as I am, a grizzly bear or something. All right, guys, I'm gonna start shutting this down. I appreciate y'all for being here. I hope everybody has a great Memorial Day weekend. I'm sure some of you will be in other chats. I'm sure I'll see some of you around the rest of the weekend off and on. If you're out and about, be safe. Roads are crowded this weekend. Everybody and their brother is out. And I get that. We've all been cooped up for a long time. So everybody's wanting to get out and go places. So if you are on the road, or if you're out having a picnic or whatever, just be safe and careful, but have a good time.
Well, and just remember that Memorial Day, we're just honoring those that made the ultimate sacrifice.
That's exactly right. Thank you, Chris. I was trying to get there. I hadn't got there yet, so I appreciate you throwing that in. Sorry. No. I'm glad you did. But that is the reason for the season, as they say, Christmas. But in this case, we are honoring our fallen, and so get out and have a good time. Think about that a little bit, but otherwise, enjoy your weekend, everybody. Thanks. Glad y'all made it in. See you soon.